Hi, thanks for uh, watching this channel and welcome to the channel. I think that's the first thing I wanna say that how we appreciate that you're here, and just if you're wondering what's going on with my voice, well, it's that's it is what it is, right? Sometimes things happens in life, and one of those things, right? That well, a couple of days ago, I'll just tell you a little bit. This video is about talking about what is the situation in Central America at this moment. The current situation, the current climate of about what things are going on in Panama. If this is affecting the rest of Central America, well, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about it, how it's having the boots on the ground, like I said, like uh, what's going on in the rest of Central America a little bit. But before that, I just want to mention that if you find my funny voice like a little bit, is because of I had a little cold actually. Of course, in Central America, right now in where I'm located here is Tegucigalpa, Honduras, and um, usually the climate here is the weather, of course, it's 90 degree right year round. Central America and most of Latin America is 90-degree weather we have, but of course at night time, like a couple of days ago, I felt that I didn't have my little jacket. I wear sometimes I take my a light jacket when I go out, just in case at night, especially if I'm coming after 6-7 o'clock at night, it gets colder like a spring weather, feeling like a spring weather, like in the States, around 60 to 65 degree. It goes a little bit cooler sometimes, especially this in the capital city, Tegucigalpa, where I'm talking to you at this moment. Um, it has an elevation of like a 1,200 feet above the sea level, and of course the municipality of Santa Ana, like 25 miles from here, one of the municipalities of this province, San Francisco Morazan, is even higher. I mean, the elevation is like a 1,600 feet above sea level, and it's most of the time it's cooler. I mean, than cooler than the regular uh, weather in the rest of the country, the rest of Honduras. By saying that, I didn't want to make a long, explanation about the weather here, but just to mention my throat, it's been, I felt like a little bit of, discomfort a couple of days ago, and I knew that something was wrong because of the change of the weather. I left home in the morning, and then, later at night after 6 o'clock, suddenly there was a temperature change, which could happen anywhere basically, but here in Honduras, of course, it happens. In Guatemala, there was a friend of mine in Guatemala who told me that they saw snow in the province of Quiché. So they had a little bit of snow, like almost an inch of snow, in the mountains, which is very unusual there too. But anyway, so what happens? What's really going on with my voice, right? My throat, So I didn't post anything. I didn't do any posting on yesterday. If you have checked just in case you have checked my channel, right? I didn't do any posting, but I figured that today I come out and at least say something, about what's going on with my throat, right? So here we are, and so I didn't take any medication just to have, but I found a little something that I want to show you quick, before I start talking about what's going on with Central America. Like this bottle, this is honey. Honey, sorry, this bottle is like a honey, natural honey. You see how thick it is? Very thick. It looks like a yellowish, like a orange type looking. A friend of mine brought me this from the province of Olancho, which is one of the eastern provinces, one of the 18 provinces here in Honduras. So a friend of mine brought that to me I would say like 3 weeks ago, was it? Yes. And I have taken this for medication, for as a natural medication, of course. I mean, it's a natural honey, from the province of Olancho. I mean, he brought it to me. I didn't, bother. Sometimes, I take it like a spoon just to have a taste with that, with a hot tea or something. But at this time of the, I figured this is going to be really helpful, and it's been. I mean, yesterday I took I took a couple of times, I think, lemon, like hot water, boiling water, a cup of boiling water, just like for coffee, just like when you do for coffee, like heat it on the micro. I did heat it on the microwave actually, and put like a spoon and a half of this honey. It's a natural, no, you see, no label, no sticker or anything anywhere. So one of his friends fill it out, natural honey from the mountains, very natural from the, no processing anything or no added sugar. So it's been really good. I mean, one of these bottles costs like, well, it was given to me as a gift, right? But one of these bottles like this, which is like I would say a quarter of a gallon, it can cost, if you're buying it here in Honduras, I mean, I didn't buy it myself, of course, it was a gift that was given to me from this friend I'm telling you about. A bottle of that could cost, if you're buying it, let's say you live here in the area, in Honduras, or you're an expat living in the area, I mean, anywhere, it would cost you like around 150 to 160 lempiras. Lempiras is the currency here in Honduras, and then of course that if you with the current exchange rate, which is 25.50 lempiras for $1, that's the exchange today. I mean, I just checked it not that long ago. It's still that but it's sliding. The currency, local currency is sliding. It's getting weaker a little bit. So I guess if you have dollar, if you change, if you bring American dollars, in this case, or Canadian or euro for Europeans, I mean, your money you can go farther. You can stretch your dollar farther because of the weaker local currency in this case, right? So just to update you on that, without changing the topic about this. But like I said, I was, this honey, from natural, places in Rancho, from the mountains, we cost you, like I said, for around $6 in the current exchange rate. Around, let's say, yes, 25.50, around 150. Yes, that's what very much it is. It's gonna be. I mean, if you buy it, right, on the street, people sell it on the street, basically, on the street corners. Some people, of course, local supermarkets, they sell it with a label, of course, with the quality control. I assume, right? Quality control. It may cost you more, but if you trust, at this I trusted because this was, by his word. But it was a friend of mine who brought this to me, and as a gift. So I trust his word that one of his friends gave it to him and told him that it's pure, it's natural, not a drop of sugar, of course. Processed sugar, right? So it's very natural, it's very healthy, and it's showing me. I mean, from yesterday, I took a couple of cups with hot boiling water and a lemon. I slice a regular, just a lemon, slice it, squeeze it on the cup, hot water, very hot, boiling water, and a spoon and a half of honey. I did it twice yesterday, and my voice is very much coming back. As of course, sometimes it goes off, right? But it's coming back. And this morning again, I took another cup of hot boiling water, again, spoon and a half of honey, another lemon, squeeze it, and the residue of the lemon, put it in there too, like the green part of the lemon, the outside, skin of the lemon, I would say. Put it in the water and leave it there for, 5 or 6 minutes, so it's soaked in, right? And it's, just, do the thing with the spoon, move it around to have a good mixing. Hopefully, it's another tip that I didn't mean to talk so much about this, remedy, this household remedy, I would say. But think about buying, right away. The natural thing is, go to the pharmacy, call the doctor, this, that, But in Central and Latin America, it's part of our tradition. That's as an expert, you learn that too. That's not everything about pharmacy, about drug companies, selling your pills and medication for everything. I'm not saying don't buy it. All I'm saying is that it's very much household remedies are not natural remedies, are very much popular, and it goes by the family tradition that immediately if you feel any pain anywhere, there are 10 people will tell you, your neighbor, your family member, they'll tell you, especially older people will tell you, oh, I used to do this, my grandma used to do that. So, it, they'll give you tips before you spend a dime, a, a dime at the pharmacy, or spending a doctor's visit for, because in Western society, everything is right, which I'm not saying nothing against it. I go to doctor too, sometimes when I need to. Nothing wrong with it. But if there are remedies, natural remedies that you can cook at home, you can do it at home. Um, so why not, right? And why not? And it does work sometimes. Most of the time works. So try that first. Of course, God is first. You say a prayer about your illnesses. Ask for God for healing. Jesus died for us for healing, right? So if you are a believer, first believe in God. Say a prayer about your illnesses, and of course you're gonna get. If you do it with faith, in prayer, with real faith, it's gonna happen. 50% of our healing comes from faith. I do believe it. 50%. If you have any illnesses, this could be stage 4 cancer, stage 2, stage 3, anything, diabetes. I mean, you name it, anything. Of course, this is just an allergy that came, with the weather, with the sudden change. I was wearing short sleeves, that I'm wearing, and opened this. I didn't mean, I did. That was my, my own, my own thing that I didn't, take care of myself that night. A couple of nights ago, that suddenly temperature changed, and I was still wearing like I'm wearing a short sleeve, just like right now it's 90 degrees. So it can happen to anybody, right? I mean, in the States, anywhere in Canada, sometimes the weather is beautiful, it suddenly change, and if you don't have a sweater or jacket, it can happen to you too. So anyway, hopefully this little chat about natural healing, about like I said, this bottle of honeybee has been really comforting. I mean, I really feel good about I didn't hear my voice yesterday. I mean, around I think it was before lunchtime, I couldn't hear my voice. I mean, and of course, hopefully this video goes well about about this posting, about this. So basically, without going not too much to going further, I was going to the like I said at the beginning, the topic was about what's going on in Panama at this moment, at this current climate, and I would say international affair climate. What's going on in Panama with the U.S. Government? It's gonna be a little bit, I would say a little like a soap opera, a little bit tension, a little bit, and of course whatever happens in Panama or Honduras, Guatemala, Costa Rica, these are small countries. Remember that around the population in Central America, 7 countries, starting from Belize to all the way to Panama, 7 small countries. The population of California is bigger, in some cases, is bigger than all these 7 countries together, almost. So think about that. I mean, but it does affect. Whatever happens, in one of these countries affects the other one, because usually we are all like interconnected in many ways, in export, in commercially, and the population too. I mean, the population, the people, expats in Central America. I mean, how this situation in Panama is affecting, because remember about the Panama Canal, what was going to happen there was a tension between China, US, the United States, and the Panamanian government about how to manage the issue of managing the Panama Canal, right? This creative, that was like 3 weeks ago, started 3 weeks ago. The tension has really tense moments where people were protesting in the capital city of Panama. There was some even, burning American flags, couple which is not, is disrespectful, for the American people, of course. Not, saying that, that shouldn't be done. I mean, every flag has to be respected, of course, in anywhere you are in the world. Respecting, that's a very, people, of course, value their flags anywhere, right? So that shouldn't be done. But anyway, people, in the heat of the moment, there were many people protesting in Panama City and other parts of Panama about what the situation of the canal was. But going too deeper in that, situation of course, for expats, this could be like, an issue of, worrying. Of course, Panama has, of course, a large expat population in Panama. Not not recently, but so many years ago. Even this goes far than very far, 40, 50, 60 years ago. I mean, because of precisely because the Panama Canal. This was built mostly by the United States, of course. The history is long history, of course, with collaboration with the Panamanian people. So there was an agreement, of course, what how this canal was supposed to manage. Was it's been managed in a fairly way, but anyway, what does this mean for expats living in Panama? There was a little video. There was fairly 10-minute video I was watching a couple of days ago. And I meant to comment, have a reaction about this video. An African American from I forgot what was the state. I think it was Kentucky. She says, but I forgot. Well, anyway, she's an African American who recently came to Panama, and that was a good example. I mentioned this because it's a good example of what does it mean to be in Panama as an American expat, right? So she was explaining in the video that she's been there in Panama for like 2 months, a little bit over 2 months, but that she came first many months ago, like 6, 8 months ago, that she came to Panama to spend some couple of months just exploring, what it was all about. But she had already had the decision of coming to Central America. In this case, this was Panama. And to make it a short story, she said that she never felt anything. I mean, and of course, the best advice is if you are, any any Central American country or any Latin America, even Mexico, anywhere in Latin America or in the world, this could be the Philippines. In the Philippines, the political season. I mean, this is political year, and Honduras too. There's going to be election this year. So if you see anything that has to do with politics, local politics, in this case in Panama, of course it's part of the politics in Panama, about the protests going on. But she never felt, she said, that's the point I'm trying to get to, that she never felt any threat or anything, any hostile environment, any hostility from people, around. I mean, of course she never went into the protest inside or even, standing by over the street, looking into it. But, routine things about like going to supermarkets. She says, going to a restaurant, going to a local, taking the train because the Panama City has a local train that goes through the city. That has a good, like a metro system that goes through the city. It doesn't go from one province to the next province, but in the city it's an urban, just like in New York or Miami, right? We have through the city you have all the metro. Subway system, right? Similar, Panama has, like a metro subway system, not a subway, but the metro system with trains that takes, in the urban takes people to work and from work or anywhere, anything you're doing, or as a visitor, if you can take the train, of course, to go anywhere in Panama City, in the vicinity of Panama City. So things like that, taking, even public transportation, and driving, to the local supermarket. I'm sorry, my throat is still. So going to the supermarket, doing your shopping. I mean, going to the mall. Just like I'm here, like outside a mall at this moment. And if you see my background, like people, like a shopping carts on my left, I think, and people coming in and out as I move this way. You can see people, just walking by, right, with no issues of even if you are a foreigner or expat, of course, if, in the case of this woman, she says she's African American, and this is very interesting. I'm going to say that hopefully that it's going to serve for everything. Ethnic tension. There is no ethnic tension in Panama or rest of Central America. Of course, political tension can be, but like in her case, she was telling us, she was referring to that being an African American in Panama is like being home. She felt very much like nobody asked her anything about. Nobody felt like that she was a foreigner, because Panamanian, ethnic, how to say, the typical Panamanian is, very much darker skin than maybe in Honduras or Costa Rica. Little dark, so she felt, ethnically, very much home anywhere she went. She didn't never, and one of the interesting things she says is that even people didn't know that people would approach when she talked to people. or people approach her ask her things in Spanish, right? Because that's the official language. Because the Panamanian, people that approach her to ask for anything, they thought she was a Panamanian. She was a local Panamanian. Then when she found, when she starts talking, of course she knows little Spanish, a few words of Spanish perhaps, but they figure when she's responding in English, and she answers in English, oh, then you're not from here. The people start asking. So in the case of this lady, she blended like, blended right away. I mean, just arriving to this country in Panama, and she felt home the moment she arrived to the airport, because very much. Many Panamanians, millions of Panamanians look like her. I mean, very much. That's the ethnic group, the ethnicity of the Panamanian is mostly a little darker than the rest of Central America. And this I'm saying just in good way, not being, trying to like go into the ethnic politics or anything. I mean, this channel is not for, or trying to bring anything ethnic divisionist or, nothing like that. I'm just, I have to clarify that. But I thought that it was interesting in this case that she felt home, and she felt, she blended right away into the society, being in a foreign land like in Panama, and that she was noticing. She says, just like in Honduras, I'm going to tell you a little more about it in Honduras, where I am at this moment in Tegucigalpa, that if you have, the people, the other experts she's been talking to, from all stripes of color, all ethnic groups, experts from Canada, U.S., from all ethnic groups, I say, that they didn't feel any, any being in danger or being at risk or being harmed or being attacked or anything from anywhere in anybody in Panama. So that can tell you that whatever is going on, sometimes like tensions like this, and that shouldn't be, if you have make a decision or if you're still planning to change your mind. I mean, of course, you have to take all the precautions on being update with news, what's going on. Of course, you don't want to be arriving to a country where at the airport there is a blockade, or there is 100,000 people on the street. Maybe that's not a good day anywhere. It's not just in Panama or Latin America, the rest of Latin America, or Mexico City. Anywhere, you don't want to arrive in Washington D.C. when you have 1 million people, blocking the street, or New York, right? The JFK, I mean, it's all been taking, but we're talking about civilian or political unrest in some part of the world. That's the extreme I'm talking about. So, in Honduras, where this is, a political season, I mean, they are, the primaries are coming March 7th. But if it happens that you are in the process of, being an expert in Honduras, or even visiting Honduras, or Roatán, Islas de la Bahia, the beautiful Bay Island, which there are daily flights, I think to six major cities, direct daily flights. Think about that. I mean, people visiting like in the thousands, per month, this beautiful province in Honduras, which is very unique. I'm not saying it's very safe also. I'm talking about the Bay Island, but I'm keep talking about where I'm located right now. You can see, I mean, I'm facing at this moment the wall of this place, which is the mall, one of the malls. This is Cascadas Malls. There's another mall like a mile and a half away called Metro Mall, and of course many important buildings are here. They use the Supreme Court. The Honduran Supreme Court is just half a mile away from here. The Central Bank, Honduran Central Bank, is always half a mile away. So and the boulevard that you see, cars going by on my back, going that way or that way, right? The main road here is what's called the Boulevard of the Armed Forces, and people. This is a parking lot you see on my, on the left side, or either way you say, right side or left side. Parking lot, people are arriving, in public transportation, and you don't see like people using bodyguards. I mean, or have a little private army, coming to this mall, right? They have all the amenities. I mean, this mall has all, like a gym, or everything you see in any U.S. mall, United States mall, anywhere, in the U.S. that people hang out and go to have a coffee or drink or anything, basically shopping. I mean, expensive, clothing in some cases, of course. Some of them has, I'm not gonna lie, sugarcoat this, but some the prices that you see here in these malls. I mean, there are many, 5 malls, I think, main malls. They have, in many cases, the prices in dollars. I mean, U.S. of course, it's a local currency like here, but when you make the conversion, it feels like a U.S. dollar, the McDonald's you see there. For instance, a combo costs you, well, it's still cheaper than the U.S. I was told in California like not long ago, for 12, 15, or 12 to $13, a combo will cost you, large fries and large, a Big Mac and who knows, a Coke, right? The combo that is very, very popular. You can still get it with 5 to around $6 or so, around $6 I would say, average, depending on what location the McDonald's is located, the capital city or San Pedro Sula, the second main city, or say, but you can vary the price, the little bit the price, but still half the price you pay for, a burger here in Tegucigalpa that you can be paying, right, in anywhere, any city in the U.S. Of course, Costa Rica has also, all these popular fast food, restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, and all these, Wendy's and Popeye, KFC and sort of that. And of course, the price is a little higher. Everything, I mean, I'm not saying everything, but most things in Costa Rica could be a little pricey. If you are visiting, of course, if you're visiting Costa Rica or planning to settle in Costa Rica. But of course, the Costa Rican society is, which I'm going to talk about in a different video, of course, but it's the makeup, how the history of Costa Rica is different from the rest of Central America. In the rest of Central American countries, including Panama, remember Manuel Noriega, this dictator that was, in Panama like 25, 30 years, almost like 30 years ago. Of course, there was pension there too with the United States government on those days, and of course, the rest of Central America, excluding, not including Belize, they all had like a civil war, but that was 30 to 35 years ago. So some of the things that you see in YouTube about Central America from 30 years ago, I mean, it's different. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, today, this is February 2025, and things are evolving in a positive way. And look, I'm feel safe here, sitting here. Of course, I'm giving my back is, I don't know who can come and grab anything from me, but I feel safe here. I mean, of course, there are private security guard on the entrance of this mall. There are 2 entrances here, right? But even if there weren't, I don't feel. And when you see people on my left, walking by or going by, I mean, you can tell that there's no tension or. I mean, like I said before, you don't see people with bodyguards or unless there's a cabinet member, government official, high government official like a cabinet member. It could be they have a little security detail, of course. I'm not saying with this that you should be doing that. I mean, if you case of situation arise, depends on each case of situation. But people, go around like you see them walking by, families, and very much there is a sense of safety. So things are evolving from the civil war of 30, 35 years ago, that what we have today in Central America, with a few exceptions, here and there, but we have to be informed, updating our information through this channel, of course, through my channel. I mean, this channel which is yours. I mean, if there is anything that has to be said, I will say it honestly. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat. I mean, give us a false sense of security if there is no security of safety, of course. In Honduras, there are cities, there are provinces, and some municipalities. There was a listing of 13 municipalities where there was zero crime, zero. I mean, what it says murder in like a year. 13 municipalities. Of course, there are other. Some cities are kind of little. There's violence in some cities. There are situations that are there that things are evolving as we speak. Right? I mean, there are things happening. I mean, of course, just like it happens in Bronx, Southside Chicago, Northwest Miami. I mean, things happen every other day. I mean, but you have to really take precautions, be informed about things, and so thanks for listening and watching. Even though my voice is funny, hopefully it went well with this video. With my my throat not doing really well, but tomorrow, of course, hopefully I'm gonna do better and I'm gonna keep taking my honey. That's the last thing I want to just comment. Honey. That, of course, just as we finish this video, I'm gonna take this cup a little bit, put some honey there, and take another little, sip of this and just keep improving and cheer up. Even in a situation like this, I'm hopeful, I'm positive, and I'm about life in general. I just thank God for being for life, and this beautiful weather of 90-degree weather. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.